A proper family vacation sounds like a luxury, right? For me, Ava, 29. Growing up in Chicago suburbs, such trips were almost unheard of. My parents always struggled with finances, and our schedules were a constant juggle of jobs and school. But this year, things were different. My marketing position downtown had given me a nice nest egg. I thought, why not treat everyone to a real vacation now? The plan seemed simple enough. I personally arranged everything: flights from O'Hare, luxury housing, and delightful seafood dinners at the best restaurants in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And that wasn't all. I enthusiastically booked exciting extras like parasailing and deep sea fishing right at our beachfront property. It was my gift to my loved ones, a chance to escape the Chicago hustle and bustle and truly spend quality time together again. My younger brother, Leo, 26, works in construction. He's always humble and genuinely appreciates opportunities like this. Leo was the first to get excited, immediately joking about catching blue marlin and teaching Dad to surf. My parents were equally ecstatic. Mom started compiling a list of items to pack, while Dad researched the top crab cake joints in Nag's Head and Duck. They kept bringing up how long it had been since we all did anything as a family. Then there's Chloe, my 24-year-old sister. Our relationship has always been challenging. Chloe, being the youngest, was undeniably more pampered than Leo or me. While Leo and I rode the bus, she got the newest iPhone. We wore hand-me-downs. She had designer jeans. We shopped at Target. She got a car for her 16th birthday. Even after returning home from college, she's always expected the world to revolve around her. Despite her tendencies, I tried to put my best self forward for this vacation. I encouraged myself to be flexible because this was meant to be a family trip, and I wanted everyone to enjoy themselves. I should have been more astute. Initially, Chloe seemed genuinely enthusiastic. When I sent the itinerary to our family group chat, Mom asked about sunscreen, and Leo playfully joked he'd gladly take the couch if it meant falling asleep to the sound of waves. Chloe posted Instagram photos of adorable bikinis she wanted to buy, gushing about how excited she was to go to the beach. But then, the little suggestions began trickling in. At first, they seemed completely harmless. I was wondering if you knew of any decent stores close to the cabin, Ava? Or I really want to give paddleboard yoga a go. Is it feasible to include that in the schedule? The usual fare, nothing that caused alarm, until Chloe calmly dropped a bombshell that was about to turn the entire trip into a nightmare. Having Bella join us would be the most amazing thing ever. Bella. The name hit me like a kick to the gut. 2 years ago, Bella was the one who secretly slept with my ex-fiancé. Memories flooded back, retrieving Derek's phone records detailing their covert meetings, the falsehoods we told each other, and the shame of having to cancel our wedding 3 months before the big day. Bella was there at our engagement party, beaming, embracing me, expressing her joy for us. She had been plotting to abduct my future spouse the entire time, and Chloe knew this. She was fully aware of how that devastated me. Whether the first sought for weeks, returned the wedding dress, or moved back in with my parents after living with Derek, she was there. At my lowest point, she betrayed me by recommending Bella come on our family trip as if it were nothing. I chose to disregard it in the group conversation, hoping she'd take it as a subtle hint that it was just a casual remark. Perhaps she was simply being careless and not intentionally malicious. However, she brought it up again the following day, but with greater zeal this time. I was considering it. And Duck would be Bella's favorite. You know how much she adores the beach, but she has never gone to the Outer Banks. On top of that, her job position has been really challenging recently. I mean, really? She made it seem as though I had already given my consent to bring her. The woman who betrayed me in the most horrific way deserved my pity and a complimentary trip. I had to stop this before it escalated any further. So I did. Just attempting to maintain a level head, I contacted Chloe later that night. Regarding what you mentioned in the group conversation, this is in fact a family vacation, Chloe. This was all organized by me, and I'm not at all happy about Bella going along. She completely disregarded my emotions. She sent out a big sigh in response, and I could almost hear her rolling her eyes. Just what is it about this that has you so worked up? As if Bella hasn't been struggling enough as of late. This adds just one more person. You know, she's not going to be able to pay this on her own. but she truly deserves a break. A clench formed in my jaw. Whether or not Bella needs a vacation is beside the point, Chloe. I organized this vacation for your family. And that's the main point. You are fully aware of what transpired between us. And Bella is not related to us. Simply put, I do not approve of her arrival, as if I were the most irrational being in the universe. Chloe let out this heightened, irritated sigh. Ava, you are really self-centered. You treat this trip as if it's solely for you, simply because you're footing the bill. In my household, that just does not work. The news seems so unbelievable to me. She accused me of being selfish for desiring a vacation apart from the woman who broke my engagement. Despite the fact that I had gone to such lengths to arrange this entire trip as a present, no. I am not being self-centered, Chloe. I am establishing a limit. It is totally acceptable if you would like to accompany Bella on a trip. Arrange your own vacation. But that journey is not this one. Our family is supposed to enjoy this. I waited for a pause in conversation during which I wondered whether, finally, she was getting it. Yet her laughter followed, this offbeat, almost caustic chuckle that gave me the willies. Okay? No big deal. I really hoped you'd have grown up enough to move on from this by now. But apparently not. You seem to be fixated on bygone eras. After that, she ended our call. As I attempted to make sense of what had transpired, I stared at my phone. It was like psychological warfare for the following few days. Chloe began making these openly passive-aggressive statements about Bella in the family group chat. But she stopped bringing her up explicitly. Some people just want to control everything. You know. Then she would type, I just think everyone deserves to have fun on vacation. Then the less subtle suggestions started trickling in. I'm excited to show Bella the pictures of the Cape Hatteras lighthouse. And the fish tacos at the restaurant you had Ava reserve would be Bella's favorite meal. She was trying to test my limits to determine how much longer she could endure before I lost it in front of our parents. It seemed as though she was attempting to cast me as a sibling who was too fragile to manage even a basic suggestion, casting me in the role of the unstable one. I almost publicly shamed her in the group chat, but I refrained since I didn't want to involve my parents in our squabble. Chloe, Bella is not coming. It ends there. You don't need to mention it anymore. I instead texted her personally, making it very obvious. Hours passed with her leaving me on read. It occurred to me that perhaps she had finally understood. However, as usual, she proceeded to send me a lengthy manipulative text. That infuriated me. I am astounded by your callous attitude towards this matter. Just because Bella messed up once in the past doesn't mean you treat her like a monster. She has supported me no matter what, and she is my best friend. I was under the impression that you have matured enough to put the past in the past and move on. But it seems like you're just as entitled as ever. Our family was hoping that this trip would strengthen our bond, but your resentment and animosity are doing the opposite. Every time I read the message, all three of them, my anger level rose. She was changing events so that it appeared Bella had inadvertently spilled coffee on my dress, rather than manipulating my fiancé. For some reason, I felt bad about declining her invitation to go on vacation with me. Chloe, this isn't about forgiveness or grudges, I replied back, attempting to maintain my composure. This is a family vacation that I organized, and I don't feel safe including Bella. Nobody can dispute this. But that wasn't all. She persisted the following day, sending me links to articles on the value of forgiveness and methods for moving past hurts. Bella was upset about being left out and losing friends due to misunderstandings, and she had the gall to give me a screenshot of her Instagram story in which she was crying. Upon more reflection, I saw that Chloe had previously informed Bella of her invitation. She had already made up her mind and was now attempting to guilt me into agreeing with her. Instead of asking for my approval, her late-night phone call, in which her voice oozed with insincere kindness, was the last straw. Hey Ava, I've been giving some thought to what you mentioned, and I must say, prioritizing family is absolutely essential. My point is that maybe you should remain at home if you can't manage having Bella along on this trip. Regardless, the rest of us would likely enjoy ourselves better if you could just chill out a bit. The impact was as sharp as a slab. She wanted me to skip out on this vacation, my present to my family, because I wouldn't give in to her demands. Are you serious? I thought. I paid for and planned this vacation. Now you want to cancel it? My point is that maybe everyone would be better off if you just if your attitude is going to be so negative that it affects everyone around you. I ended the call before she could complete the thought. Rage was making my hands tremble. I knew it had crossed a line when it happened. It was a restless night for me. Perhaps it would be best for you to remain at home, I continued thinking. Echoing Chloe's sentiments, it was astonishing in its sheer chutzpah. Even my sister, who had wrecked my engagement, was attempting to dissuade me from planning a lovely vacation for my family so that she might bring the lady who had caused it. I attempted to disregard the situation and concentrate on my job for the following 2 days, in the hopes that Chloe would eventually realize her mistake. However, a pivotal event occurred that altered the course of events. "Hey, I want to help. Make this trip amazing for everyone," she texted me out of the blue. "I've been reviewing the events you had in mind and would like to suggest some changes. Send me the details of the booking account, please." Trust me when I say I simply want to spice up the schedule with a few fun extras. Even though it was wrong of her, I couldn't help but wonder if this was her attempt at reconciliation. Perhaps she wanted to make a positive impact on the trip after realizing she had gone too far. I thus forwarded her the credentials to the website where she could reserve the residence. I have never made a decision like that before. 2 days down the road, when I was taking a break from my desk to get some coffee, my phone beeped with an email alert. "We have received your message regarding the update to your reservation." From the holiday rental operator. At first, I assumed it was just another confirmation or weather report. However, my pulse froze as soon as I opened it. The name of the person handling the cancellation, Ava Thompson, was boldly displayed. I was so sure I was misinterpreting it that I blinked at the computer. What gives rise to the cancellation of my name? It was me who made all the reservations. As I anxiously entered the credentials for my phone, my heart began to race. I was sick to my stomach from what I saw. The reservation had totally erased my name. Bella Martinez was allowed to use the beach house that I had purchased for instead. Did you hear about the worst part? I still had the money charged to my credit card. Chloe had replaced the lady that wrecked my life with my own money. For balance, I clutched the counter in the break room. I was taken aback by the level of deliberate and comprehensive betrayal at first. Chloe had essentially disinvited me from my own vacation and charged my credit card to cover my replacement. So it wasn't just about inviting Bella along. My hands were trembling so terribly that I could hardly dial when I contacted her right away. After what seemed like an identity theft incident, she responded on the second ring with a tone that was far too casual. "Ava, how are you doing? Why? Did I just receive an email saying Bella was added to the booking and I was removed?" I asked. My voice barely controlled. Quietness ensued. She proceeded to laugh out loud. Her laughter filled the air. "Oh? Definitely. I thought this would be the simplest way to fix it. I figured it would be best to just let you sit this one out, since you insisted on not wanting Bella there. Simplified life for all, isn't it?" It seemed as if I had stepped into a parallel universe. My journey begins here. Chloe, my present and my loved ones. My presence cannot be abruptly terminated in favor of Bella, as if I were being unreasonable. She sighed. "Listen, you're the one that added unnecessary complexity to the situation. In any case, Bella is much more deserving of this vacation than you are. She has been through a lot recently, and all you're doing is being spiteful over an event that happened eons ago." "Is it long ago?" I nearly yelled it out. "Mine and my fiancé had an affair. My engagement was ruined by her." It was coldly retorted by Chloe that Derek had preferred her above you. "Perhaps we should just admit it and move on." It was that. That was a double quotes. "Hey, Chloe, you know what? I agree with you. We must proceed. Bella's ticket and yours will both be cancelled. This vacation will not include you." Undeterred, she gave a mocking sneer. "Oh, come on. Obviously, you're not going to do that. Everything was well when you came around. As I told your parents before, it was absurd how entitled they were. She was certain she had once and she didn't think I would actually follow through." I yelled out and hung up. I updated the password, removed Chloe and Bella from the reservation, and logged back into the account within 5 minutes. Immediately, my phone began to ring with a deluge of calls and texts from Chloe, all of which I chose to ignore. I felt like I could breathe again after what felt like weeks. The repercussions were severe and quick. There was a deluge of communication on my phone within the hour. After I removed Chloe from the excursion, I could tell that Chloe had gone sobbing to her parents with her version of events since the family group chat was going crazy with notifications. I allowed it to ring for some time, attempting to mentally get ready for what I anticipated. My mother's voice was tense with concern when I returned her call. "Sweetheart, what's happening? Ava accusing you of removing her from the family vacation." Chloe is here in tears. Her heart is shattered. I drew a long breath. "Chloe withheld some information from you, Mom. Bella was substituted for me after. She got into the booking account and canceled my reservation. The money was charged to my credit card. The cancellation email was the sole means by which I became aware of it." A lengthy silence followed. I could see my mom turning to Dad as she tried to take in what I had just said. Mom spoke softly, saying, "That didn't sound like anything Chloe would do. Could it be that there was just a miscommunication?" "The email confirmations are proof, Mom. She included the woman who broke my engagement in my vacation plans while she cut me out." Yet another period of quiet. I could hear my dad's weariness when he got on the phone. "Ava, we're just attempting to make sense of this situation. A family vacation was the original plan. There must be a method to resolve this that does not leave anyone behind." Screaming was on my mind. Once again, they were quick to think I was being dramatic. "Dad, I did my best to figure things out. On several occasions, I expressed my discomfort with Bella's arrival to her. She continued to push me aside while she made modifications to my booking, behind my back, completely ignoring me. I will not stand by and allow her to treat me like that. Though I can feel your pain." Dad gently reminded me, "This is tough for everyone. Perhaps we can come to an agreement." "Which form of accommodation?" I inquired. "It seems like I should just forgive and forget that Chloe tried to take my family vacation money. After I paid for it, planned it, and set a reasonable boundary, but apparently she can't handle it." Their silence suggested that it hit close to home. "At long last," Mom raised her voice, clearly nervous. "We get it, you're hurt, I get it. We intend to make no bones about it. However, family matters most, and Chloe is your sister." I said precisely that. "Always prioritize your family. That's why I insisted on making this an intimate family vacation. Still, Chloe has been behaving as if we are her own personal vacation planning committee, attempting to bring someone who isn't related and who has caused me great pain." Their discomfort with the thought of Chloe missing out persisted, but I could tell they were beginning to see my point. I went against my better judgment but agreed with Dad that we should all get together as a family to try to resolve the issue. We met at my parents' Schaumburg house that night. As soon as I entered their living room, the atmosphere was tense. The parents appeared to have been through a lot emotionally as they sat on their weathered brown couch. Also present was Leo, who was visibly exhausted by the ordeal by the time he leaned back in his dad's chair and crossed his arms. Then there was Chloe, who was acting the victim while sitting in the corner chair next to a tissue box. She proceeded to begin the moment I took a seat. Her expression was one of deep hurt as she looked at me accusingly. "It seems like this isn't as important to you as your family." I remained composed. "You added Bella to my reservation and canceled it without my knowledge or consent. Chloe, have you any idea what you were anticipating?" The woman gave a disapproving look. "I simply wanted to ensure that the trip would be enjoyable for everyone. Refusing to include someone I consider family shows that you are being selfish." Leo, who had remained quiet until now, broke his silence. "Excuse me, Chloe. Ava gave us this trip as a present. You must not pretend that you have complete decision-making authority." Chloe gave him a betraying glance. "Are you also siding with her now?" With a shrug, Leo continued, "I'm siding with logic and reason. No is a firm no when someone says it. That is the essence of respect." I could tell then that something was going to change. At the family gathering, Chloe let her guard down for the first time. She came to the realization that her typical manipulative efforts were failing as Leo supported me, and my parents began to perceive things plainly. However, she did not apologize or back down. Rather, she stepped up her game. "All right." She abruptly stood up. "How about we pretend I'm the one causing trouble? I could be. Maybe it's time for me to stop acting like Ava is perfect simply because she's wealthy." Every sound faded out of the room. Mom appeared taken aback and Dad's face became more serious. "What does that even mean?" "Excuse me," I inquired. "Chloe cussed me out." "Oh, please. We need to be forthright about the nature of this. You orchestrated this journey to bolster your self-esteem, to portray yourself as the altruistic older sibling. As soon as someone offers an idea that you find objectionable, you transform into an overprotective control freak because of your financial means. You behave as if we are all your property. That is sufficient, Chloe, Mom told her with a stern voice. But she was finally getting her revenge and it was coming out in spades. Oh no, Mom. It won't cut it. It's getting old for everyone to pretend Ava is flawless. She keeps this matter hanging over our heads at all times. I get to choose where we eat since I'm footing the bill for dinner. I get to set the rules because I'm footing the bill for the trip. It's wearing me down. Anger was visible on Leo's face as he stood up. Do you not believe what you are saying? She arranged a lovely getaway for us as a present and you're treating her like a tyrant just because she doesn't want the lady who cheated on her fiancé to join. No. Bella cheated, Chloe screamed. Ava was not Derek's wife since Bella is a better person. He exercised his right to choose and picked her. Poisonous words lingered in the atmosphere. It seems that even Chloe had reached her breaking point. But by then it was too late. At long last, the truth about her feelings toward me, Derek, and Bella was revealed slowly. Dad rose up, his visage darker than anything I'd ever seen before. At this very moment, Chloe Marie, you should apologize to your sister. However, it was too late for Chloe. No. I am not apologizing because I am being honest. Perhaps Ava should examine her own feelings and figure out why Derek dumped her for another woman. Instead of continuing to play the victim card for the past 2 years, my mom let out a gasp. It appeared as though Leo was about to physically step in and intercede. Sitting there in shock at my sister's callousness, I did nothing. Exit. Dad whispered, his voice quivering with anger. The time has come to leave this house. Fine. As Chloe snatched her bag and made her way towards the exit, she couldn't help but take one last shot. Make the most of your priceless family vacation. Ava, I hope it fulfills all your dreams. You picked this, so keep that in mind. Because of your small-minded animosity, you decided to ruin our family. As she walked out, the door banged shut, and we were all frozen in shock. It took Mom a few minutes, but eventually she looked at me through teary eyes. My deepest apologies, honey. She must have felt that way. I had no clue. Sitting down again, Dad slouched. We ought to have anticipated this. Her entitled attitude has been steadily worsening, but I never expected her to say anything so hurtful. A hand from Leo rested on my shoulder as he walked over. Of course, none of that was accurate, isn't it? Just because she wasn't satisfied with her outcome, she is acting out. To be honest, I was too emotionally spent to care about anything other than nodding. Instead of bringing our family closer together, the trip drove a wedge between us. I had a major epiphany, though, as we sat there trying to make sense of what had transpired. After all these years, Chloe's behavior was now plain to see. At last, her mask had come off, and now there was no turning back. So, it seems like we're just on a 4-person trip to North Carolina, Dad added. Does everyone agree with that? Excuse me, I inquired. My mom gave my hand a squeeze. Perfectly fine. So far, all you've done is attempt to do something lovely for this family. We will not allow Chloe's actions to derail that. I hadn't felt this optimistic about the trip's potential for weeks, but for some reason, I finally did. I was both relieved and filled with anticipation on the day of the trip. I really doubted that I would still be able to take pleasure in the holiday that I had painstakingly planned after all the turmoil, disputes, and explosive family situations. However, I came to the realization that perhaps, just perhaps, this was meant to be as we piled into Dad's SUV in the dark of early morning and made our way to O'Hare. Surprisingly, the journey to Norfolk was really quiet. We had meaningful conversations when Chloe stopped moaning and pointing out how much she wanted attention. Engaged in meaningful conversation. My mom used to tell us tales of her summer spent in Lake Michigan when she was a kid. My dad has always said that he hopes to retire to a coastal area someday. With his impersonation of his co-workers, Leo brought a smile to everyone's face. Rather than a group of individuals attempting to control a challenging individual, we experienced a sense of family unity for the first time in a long time. Upon our arrival at the Duck Beach home, it surpassed all of my expectations. With its wraparound porch that overlooked the Atlantic, the cottage boasted prime waterfront real estate. A steady and calming sound of waves greeted us. while Dad remained on the deck for 10 minutes. Savoring the salt air, Mom wasted no time starting to capture every moment on camera. "Ava, this is incredible," he exclaimed as he placed his arm around my shoulders. "I am grateful to you for facilitating this." I could finally unwind and relish in the process of watching my meticulously orchestrated plans materialize now that the drama was absent. I had booked reservations months in advance at this fantastic seafood joint called the Blue Point, and we dined there on our first night. My mom literally started to cry when the server handed out the special crab cake appetizer that I had pre-ordered. The private dining area provided a view of Currituck Sound, according to her. The last time the family did something so wonderful was a long time ago. We explored the Outer Banks to its fullest extent throughout the following several days. Leo reeled in a 30-pound mahi-mahi while Dad hooked and released a little marlin from a charter boat. We chartered for fishing in the Gulf Stream. Along with a wild horse tour in Kerala. We ascended the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. I had even planned a private catamaran sunset ride, stocked with wine and regional cheese. Just for the two of us, there was a noticeable change without Chloe. Nobody raised objections to anything, nobody railed about the timetable, and nobody made an issue out of themselves. All we had to do was relax and take in the breathtaking scenery that I had selected for us. In any case, Chloe wasn't entirely absent from the journey. She would send me a few of texts every day. At first, they were furious with me, saying that I had stolen her vacation and that I was responsible for her holiday being ruined. But as time passed and she saw our family photos and Instagram postings, the letters became increasingly urgent. Her message was sent on the 4th day, and she regrets it. "You guys are the best. Is it possible to speak when you return?" Leo and I were sitting on the beach when I showed him the note. Then he shook his head negative. "Everyone can see how happy we are without her drama, and she's only sorry because she's losing out." He was spot on. Even my folks couldn't help but remark on how easy the entire journey was. While we were enjoying our breakfast on the balcony, one morning, Mom mentioned that it felt like we could finally be authentic. At the end of our trip, everyone was already talking about going on another family vacation the following year, possibly to Colorado to go trekking in the mountains. It was wonderful to think of more family adventures free from the pressure and control. The house had a distinct vibe upon our return to Chicago, less heavy. The previous dynamics appeared to have broken after our fantastic time together. Leo and I became closer than we had been since we were children, and my parents began to establish firmer limits with Chloe. Not that she wanted to, but our dad had had enough of Chloe's drama and freeloading, so she finally moved out of our parents' house a few months later, accusing them of being selfish. She refused to contribute more than $200 each month for rent and utilities. One thing I learned on my vacation to the Outer Banks is the need of protecting one's personal pleasure and calm, even if it means putting boundaries with family. For a long time, I had put up with Chloe's selfishness, tried to maintain peace, and enabled her behavior, but we were all set free when I stood up to her, canceled her ticket, and refused to let her control me. We can try to mend our connection if Chloe decides she wants to change, accepts responsibility for her behavior, and treats us with respect. But in the meantime, I'm clinging to the contentment and serenity that I've fought so hard to preserve. Colorado is undoubtedly going to be our vacation spot next summer.